Huh. You know, I would love to review this game right now, but first, I have to go out shopping for a few things. Lucky for me, I've got this little notebook and pen to write down everything I need to buy. So let's see here. I'll need a live cow, a giant turbine engine, a sick elderly man inside a green, transparent quarantine bed.
Rabbids Go Home, the game where two wild rabbits decide to go on the ultimate shopping spree of a lifetime. I mean, these guys need to grab all the stuff they can get if they want to reach the cosmos. I guess they just wanted to follow in Neil Armstrong's footsteps and officially become the first rabbits on the moon, and I applaud them for that. Released on November 1st, 2009, for the Nintendo Wii, this game showed us that you don't actually need a rocket ship to go to the moon. You can just pile a whole bunch of junk on top of each other, and you'll reach outer space in no time at all. Welp, it looks like the moon is officially the rabbits' new home now, or at least it will be at the end of the game.
So why are these two rabbits wearing clothes, but not the rest of the rabbits in this game? Why are all the humans even skinnier than a pile of twigs? Why are all the rabbits constantly yelling and screaming all the time? And why don't any of the humans' facial expressions ever change throughout your entire adventure? Well, time to fill up that shopping cart with as many useless items as humanly possible. Oh, I'm in for a good time.
After invading the Earth and partying at a very intense level, all the rabbits are ready to go back home. But since these guys have a short attention span like me, they decide to go to the moon, which they think is a giant light bulb in the sky. Yeah, the rabbits are kind of dumb. So they come up with a genius plan to head down to the city and collect all the human stuff they can possibly find, in order to stack everything into a giant pile and climb all the way up to the moon. And all of this is just so the rabbits can fall asleep on it. Seriously? They all want to take a nap on the flippin' moon of all places? Why can't they just sleep anywhere else on their home planet? And how do they expect to breathe on the moon? There isn't any oxygen up there whatsoever. But regardless, two of these rabbits, one wearing some nice pants, and the other wearing a red thong, grab a shopping cart and head off on their extravagant journey. A journey to collect stuff, I guess.
Okay, now wait just a darn minute. How exactly is this giant pile of junk supposed to be high enough to reach the moon? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's like saying your car has a personality. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sleeping right now. I can't take you anywhere.
In this game, you play as a team of two rabbits pushing a shopping cart and going on a rampage all over the city. The main objective is to go to all these human places, such as malls, airports, and hospitals, in order to collect as much stuff in every level as possible, so you can help all the other rabbits build a pile high enough to reach the moon. Each level has enough junk to grow your pile by 1,000 feet. Geez, that's almost as tall as the Empire State Building for crying out loud. The minimum requirement for completing a level is to collect the extra large stuff and carry it all the way to the magic toilet at the end, after crashing through a flippin' wall. Yeah, this game is kind of weird, but in a good way. The more junk you collect in each level, the more items become unlocked for the rabbits to mess around with, including tools, tattoos, figurines, challenges, and accessories, depending on your final score after completing a level.
Wait, so each level has enough junk to grow your pile by 1,000 feet? Dang, how many levels are there in this game? Probably a lot, which means, by the end of the game, your pile of stuff would most likely be tens of thousands of feet high. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at right there. Achoo.
The extra large stuff is located in either the middle or the end of a level, and some of these extra large items affect the gameplay in one way or another. For example, a giant turbine engine will propel your shopping cart up to 3 times its normal speed, a snow tube can be used to ride down these steep desert hills, and a sick patient's quarantine bed allows you to float and glide across large gaps, because that makes sense. Uh-oh, looks like this guy is suffering from a bad case of
coronavirus!
No, please, don't take me away, I'm not dead yet. Scattered throughout each level are collector rabbits, where you can deposit all the stuff you collected up to that point. And everything goes right into this trombone, because again, that makes sense. The health of the rabbits, described in the game as ideas, is measured in Thomas Edison's greatest invention, light bulbs.
I'm Thomas Edison, I rule!
Look it up
These things burn out if you take damage, but you can collect more light bulbs to refill your health. At the start of the game, you only have 3 light bulbs, displayed in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. But as the game goes on, you can earn up to 6 light bulbs, by completing special challenges in between worlds. However, if all of your light bulbs fly out, or if you fall into a pit, you get sent back to an automated checkpoint in the level. Good thing you don't go back to the beginning, that's for sure. Oh, and also this happens. It just cracks me up every time.
Man, all these light bulbs are pretty bright. In fact, they're so bright that they are literally the sun in my life, which means they need to get 93 million miles away from me.
You move your shopping cart with the nunchuck and accelerate by holding the A button. Your main mode of offense in this game is a loud scream called the BWAAAH attack, which can be triggered by shaking the Wiimote. It's your basic attack. This move can break certain objects, stun enemies like guard dogs, and of course, scare the humans while stripping them of all their clothing. Well, almost all their clothing. Doing this makes the humans run around like pretty little ballerinas. Good thing their underwear stays on, otherwise this game would definitely get an M rating for sure, no doubt. But as you progress through the game, the humans begin catching on to the Rabbids' antics. Uh-oh, this guy's got his grumpy face on today. So eventually, you'll have to avoid all kinds of enemies, like these blue robots that try putting you back in your place, these yellow robots that try cleaning up all the messes you make on the floor, and worst of all, the Verminators. The humans will also begin wearing these soundproof helmets, in order to protect themselves from your BWAAAH attack. Sorry, I just had to say that again. Oh, and sometimes you'll find this really skinny Santa running around with a sack full of burgers. I heard that's the hot new item all the kids want this Christmas. Gee, I didn't know it was the holiday season already. Also, how did Santa get so flippin' thin? He must have been really cutting back on milk and cookies this time around.
Who ever heard of a skinny Santa? Eat, eat!
Okay, can I just say, this skinny Santa looks absolutely ridiculous. Like seriously, whoever heard of such a thing? I mean, what the heck happened to all of his body weight? Now, I would love to roast this guy because of that, but my mom said I'm not allowed to burn trash.
In this game, you can perform another technique known as the Super Boost, which is activated when your shopping cart turns and drifts to the point where these blue sparks begin flying from under its wheels. When you make a sharp turn with your shopping cart, it'll start to skid. And then, when those blue sparks appear, you can press the B button to perform the aforementioned Super Boost. This ability allows you to knock down piles of heavy crates, strip the humans' clothing faster, and leap over obstacles through the use of springboards and ramps. You can also use this thing called the Cannonball Rabbid, not to be confused with Cannonball Run. This mechanic features a rabbit that lives inside the Wiimote, and you can launch him by aiming with said Wiimote and pressing the Z button on the nunchuck. This attack can defeat certain enemies, open up marked grates, and blow up these red cushiony rolls. Now this ability isn't utilized very often, and it's only required for specific instances, but it's still pretty cool to use, I guess. At several points during the game, a rabbit will get sucked into the Wiimote. It can then be thrown and bounced around while inside, as the screen displays an interior view of the Wiimote. Now this is really fun to mess around with. Seriously, I would recommend getting this game just for this feature alone.
Wait, so this rabbit inside the Wiimote isn't strong enough to prevent himself from getting thrown and bounced around so much? I mean, rabid? More like... bad. Got him once again.
So, as the Rabbids continue gathering human objects and shoving them all into their shopping cart, they transfer all the stuff they found through the sewage system via a series of magic toilets. Yes, of course a big jumbo jet can fit down one of these. What are you talking about? The Rabbids keep adding the collected junk to their growing pile, which becomes increasingly higher as the game progresses. But eventually, the humans decide to revolt against the Rabbids and become Verminators, in a bid to exterminate them and retrieve all their stolen stuff. At the very end of the game, the Rabbids are still unable to reach the moon, even after gathering almost everything from the city. They begin to lose hope, but suddenly, the humans bombard the junk pile with a whole bunch of time-delay bombs.
Bombs?
The bombs then explode on the pile, causing it to fly all the way up into outer space. As a result, all the extra-large stuff starts falling from the sky, and all the humans run around in panic. After all the junk has stopped falling, the humans are completely overjoyed to have all their stuff back. Clearly. Meanwhile, in outer space, the Rabbids celebrate their ultimate accomplishment of finally reaching the moon, albeit caught in the moon's gravitational orbit, making it look sort of like a Saturn 2.0. The end.
And now for the flaws. Let's get to them before my shopping cart gets filled up with way too much junk.
The first flaw that I have with this game is that it can get a little repetitive at times. Now sure, there are some levels that change up the gameplay a bit, like for example, the ones where you have to chase down a truck with a cow inside. But for the most part, you're just running around collecting stuff and stripping the humans' clothing, and that's pretty much it. I just wish there were more of these levels that give the game some more variety, that's all. The second flaw with the game is that it's a little too easy if you ask me. Yes, it does get a bit more challenging towards the end of your adventure, especially in the last few levels. But maybe if the rest of the game was just a little more difficult, I think it would definitely prevent my shopping cart's wheels from squeaking all the time, just saying. The third and final flaw is the constant enthusiasm from all the Rabbids, which can get kind of annoying at times. I mean, these guys just won't stop yelling and screaming. I know they're supposed to act like this in these games, but jeepers peepers, somebody needs to give these guys a chill pill, maybe a dozen of them. Like seriously, these Rabbids definitely aren't for any hardcore gaming enthusiasts. Man, this is even worse than that one teacher I had for my math class recently.
The homework today is only 2 questions. Each one has 26 parts.
Why would you do that?
Oh, come on. Really? That's nothing compared to all the homework you get in quarantine. In fact, I'll educate you with a little fun fact. Did you know that every 60 seconds in Africa, a minute passes?
But despite all these flaws, you just can't help but praise this game for its inventive uses of the Wiimote, easy to get into gameplay, great soundtrack, deep Rabbid customization modes, and incredible sense of humor. This truly is one of the best examples of the collectathon genre we've seen in ages, and it really adds a lot of replay value to this latest exercise in Rabbid abuse. It's kind of hard to believe the Rabbids actually pulled off a fully fledged game without Rayman's assistance this time around, and the whole experience is just witty, charming, energetic, hugely entertaining, and above all, incredibly fun, even if it isn't particularly smart. So with that being said, I'm giving Rabbids Go Home 79 out of 100 Mario hats. The music is enough to really get your adrenaline going, and the game is far more inspiring and ambitious than Rayman Raving Rabbids. Now the game does, at times, feel like an action romp and at times a platformer on wheels, but regardless of the scenario, you'll be having fun and smiling, if not laughing, the whole way through. This game really is a fun-filled experience that you should not miss out on, and it's a definite step in the right direction for the Rabbids, so I really hope to see them continue this way. Keep on filling up all your shopping carts with junk, everybody!
Okay guys, so next time we meet, we'll be taking a look at Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Yep, that's right. This isn't just one single game. It's a whole collection of 4 2D Mario classics for the NES, all wrapped up in a convenient little package. And not only that, but all the games have been completely remade in the 16-bit style. You just can't get any more rad than this, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and remember, gaming is not a crime. Until then, and stay awesome sauce. What? Rabbids? What do you mean the moon isn't made of cheese?